Yo, what's up, everyone? Kaizur here. I got another topic for today, and that is sponsorship, how you can get it, what you should be looking out for, and also a little bit of an announcement because this is actually like a week or two late. I actually recently got sponsored by Too Ugly Esports. Yay! Shout out to those guys. I'm happy to have a new home. It's been a little bit since I was sponsored last, and yeah, they're really good work. But anyway, that's not the topic of today's video. So, if you want to be sponsored, which I would say most people see that as their mark, they've made it. They're now a professional player, you know, which isn't true. First of all, I want to put that out there right now. Sponsorship is not something that means you've made it, and I'll go into that a little bit more detail later. But in order to first be sponsored, there are two qualities that you need to have. Every sponsored player needs to have these two things, right? And the first one is the one that everyone thinks about, and that is you do have to be really good at this game. Like, you have to be one of the best. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be Arsene Ash. It definitely helps. But being one of the best is the important thing. And that takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. I'll have another video in the future explaining how to get good, especially with Tekken 8 coming out. I think there's going to be a lot of people that would love to see that video. But anyway, again, not the topic today, Kaizur. Today, we're talking about sponsorship. So, once you are that, level, TGO, able to get top spots at tournament, top 8 at a major tournament, that's not enough by itself. I'm going to tell you that right now. I know a couple of players that have reached top 8 at even things such as Evo Japan or Combo Breaker, and they weren't actually able to get anything from that. Now, why is that? It's because they were missing the other part of the equation, and this might be even more important than being good. And that is, you need people to know who you are. You have to have a brand. Like, you have to. Without a brand, you are worthless to an organization that wants to use you to sell their own products. Which, again, for people who are not aware, that's what orgs are for. They are there to support you so that they can use your publicity, your fame, for them to sell their own stuff. You might be asking yourself, how do you actually get a brand? Because, it is sort of ambiguous. There's no real road for every single person on how to do this, but I can give you a couple of ways that you can definitely get this brand. You can reach this success, all right? Number one thing you can do is, so you need people to know you, right? There are many ways that you can get people to know you. The best way to do it, especially the people that really, I don't want to say matter because that's not the case, but that'll be really beneficial for you, is go in person to these tournaments and talk to them, For example, again, I did get picked up by Too Ugly Esports, and one of the reasons that it was a very easy pickup for both of us is because I met the owner of Too Ugly Esports, Sir Gerald French, over at Texas Showdown like a couple years ago, and we both left a pretty good impression on each other. And then a couple years later, I'm like, hey, you want to do this? He's like, hell yeah, I want to do this. And that's that's how it worked out. Again, that is just one example of it, though. That's not the brand. That's just one of the ways you can get people to know you. One of the more mainstream ways of getting people to know you is to start a YouTube channel or have a Twitch or have both. I recommend both, and maybe even a Twitter or X, whatever it is these days. Having all that stuff just to make sure that your name is out there and people can connect with you if they want is all so important. And now, of course, the final, in my opinion, both the easiest and hardest way to get a brand is to pop off at a major tournament. For me, that big moment was that Farzine match back at CEO, I don't even remember, 2021, something like that. That was the big spark, but I already had that YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. It was all there. They weren't optimized. They weren't the best, but they were already there, so I was able to capitalize a little bit on that success of that one tournament. And I highly recommend you put yourself in that same spot so you can really capitalize the one time that you do manage to finally break through the barrier and make a top 8 at a tournament. It's so important to be ready for that moment of fame. Again, though, that is also the hardest part because it is very difficult to exceed everyone's expectations just, by definition. Doing that at a major tournament is both a part of skill and luck and circumstance. There's a lot of stuff. Another tutorial that is going to be coming out very soon is how to succeed and make top 8 at a major tournament. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see that one next. But let's say that you have both the player skill and the brand recognition, and you're starting to either get offers or you are looking to, you yourself are reaching out. Both those options are valid, by the way. I have both reached out and I have been reached out to, and I've had great offers from both versions of doing that, you know? But let's say you are doing this. Let's talk about the different tiers of sponsors, or quote-unquote sponsors for the bottom tier. There is one type of sponsor that you really want to avoid. The problem is that almost everyone who gets in this whole esports thing falls for it at least once. I know for me, I fell for this when I was in high school and I was trying to get in Counter-Strike, and I found one of these orgs. It's gonna be the first type we're talking about today for sponsorships, and that is the straight up scam orgs, okay? What makes a scam org, you might wonder? So, the scam org, it's not like you're paying them direct money most of the time. Some of them do. There are some worse cases than others. But for example, the ones that I was in, they pick you up and they make you feel like you're a part of the family. A very dangerous thing for anyone who has ever worked a real job before. And they're like, yeah, we will help support you with your goals, and we want to do all these things. They give you a lot of promises, but then they don't really do anything. They don't even pay for, like, your jersey, which, again, like I was saying before, the whole thing for sponsors is that they want to use you to, like, shield their sponsors and sell things, right? That should be the whole point, but they can't even give you a shirt to do that. That is a huge red flag, you know? They make you pay for your own jersey so you can feel like you're part of the team. You know what I'm saying? And I was the fool. I did do that. I just really, when I was in high school, I wanted to be sponsored so badly by any means possible that I was gladly willing to do that. I saw they gave me a big, long contract that I barely read. Anyway, don't fall for that. There's a lot of those out there. Again, other red flags that you might want to look out for is that they do not pay for any travel or hotel or barely anything. They ghost you on a lot of payments. If they do have anything set up, they are always signing players, and usually a lot of them at once. And there's a lot of people who were on the team that are now not in the team. Make sure you ask those people, why aren't you on that team anymore? They are more than often very happy to tell you why they left that scam team. You know, they're trying to make sure that shit doesn't happen to you. Unfortunately, I've seen a couple of my own friends join a couple of scam orgs. I've had a couple try to recruit me, but I have not joined them since I learned my lesson from back when my Counter-Strike days. Do not fall for that, please. Do not be so desperate that you will go for anything. It is not worth it, I promise you. But let's move on from that. Let's go to level 2, the level 2 sponsorship, right? Or I guess you could call it level 1 since it should be like the basic floor, right? And the biggest difference between this and the scam org is that they actually pay you. They usually promise between 1 or 2 tournaments a year, hopefully majors, but sometimes not even that. I've heard some of them even give you like a little stipend, like $100, $200. But I have not actually been in one of those types that pay you actual money / salary. So, you know, that is what it is. That salary is a very rare thing. We'll talk about that when we get to like tier 3, tier 4, actually tier 4 type of sponsorships. But, yeah, they often get you at least 1 or 2 different tournaments that they will send you out to. At least they'll help pay for either the hotel or the flights or some food or at least something, you know. And oftentimes these guys will also have a affiliate links. Sometimes those scam orgs will also have affiliate links, but it's a little bit different. They're just screwing you over even more, or at least these guys are giving back. If you don't know what affiliate links are, you know, like G Fuel's like, hey man, if you want to use my G Fuel thing, you'll get 20% off if you use my code. Every single time that you do that, the creator gets paid, or in a lot of the scam orgs cases, it's the org itself that gets paid, you know. Though, again, I just said it's like the scam orgs. A lot of the tier 2 orgs also, they are the ones who get paid when people use the links, but it's different because they are at least helping you in some way. They are paying for something. Still not ideal, but there are way worse things, and I honestly feel that if you are not the best player in the world, one of the best players, and you don't have a huge brand for yourself, this is not a bad gig at all, and I would accept it, you know? But let's talk about now tier 3, and this is where I would put Too Ugly Esports, by the way, and also the past 2 teams that I've been on, like EMGG. Difference between these, and the last two is that these guys pay for all travel, all of the you know, the flights, the hotel, and they will send you to as many majors as you need to be able to get you into the finals. And by the way, this is also really important because a lot of people don't even think about this. When I say pay for everything, they don't hand me a credit card. That's not how it works. Okay, that doesn't work for even the very best orgs outside of like the one Panda one that got demolished from Smash a while back. They reimburse you. Okay, you pay for stuff. You have to have money. You can't just have no money. Okay, you can't be a bum. And then you pay for things, and then when you're done, you give them the receipt, and they pay you back, and that can take a long time. Okay, I've had payments take as long as 4 or 5 months, depending on the org I've been on. You know, sometimes you just got to be patient, and sometimes they do just end up not giving to you, and you can try to fight that if you want. But again, it's just like, is it really worth the hassle? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff involved, you know. There's a lot of mess. There's some organizations are a messy thing. Sponsorships are a messy thing in the fighting game scene right now because it is just not very well known. It's not well established. So there's a lot of weird things that can happen, you know. But yeah, I recommend tier 3 quite a lot. That's the lowest I'm willing to accept personally at this point in my career, and it is just it's a nice place to be. It makes going to tournaments a lot less stressful when you don't have to worry about, you know, the risk return of going to an event, because you're safe knowing that you're going to get your money back no matter what, so you can actually play to your absolute best, you know. It's a good time. But now let's talk about everyone's favorite, tier 4. Tier 4 is when you actually get paid salary. All right, I'm talking about Red Bull, I'm talking about Team Liquid, I'm talking about Team FaZe, Cloud9. These guys are serious business, okay? This is what, when people think of pro players, this is probably what most people think about. If you want to know the salary range, I've heard a lot of different numbers. Mostly around between $1,000 a month or $3,000 a month. And I'm sure if you're Arslan Ash, you could probably ask for more. You know, that's the whole thing with these contracts, is that you can negotiate at this level because you are actually worth that. Your brand is crazy. You are the best, not necessarily even one of the best anymore. This is where you're at. You know, you are the best in your class type thing. And for these type of organizations, there's a lot of extra perks that come with just not just like free travel and everything else like that. They often give you like editors. They often give you a lot of off-sites or off-competition excursions, like trips. They have like different lounges they can go to. They get special access to every event. Like at EVO, Red Bull, people had their own way to get into the thing. There's a lot of really exclusive perks that you get when you're with one of the big boys, you know, because they can afford that. And yeah, once again, to be able to get this, you really have to have a brand that everyone respects, everyone knows, and you have to be one of the best players, like, out there. You know, it is really tough to get. That is where I'm currently trying to get to with Tekken 8. We'll see if I can do it. I think I can, but, you know, there is a little bit of luck involved no matter what you do. So, yeah, that's sponsorship, how you do it, what type of orgs there are, what ones you should avoid, that kind of thing. I hope you enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes look. And, yeah, I'll see you guys at the next video. Johnny, bye-bye.